Hello there and welcome to another one. I trust I find you in good spirits. It's TGIF. My name is Tatenda.
Rudi Parry.
Hi there. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. My mate here always says that I'm a clown, but I'm going to try as much to be more of a clown to make sure that he expects. What he expects is what he gets. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, liking, sharing and subscribing, make sure that the next person hears about what we speak about or the next person knows about us. I'm the cute one, he's the white guy, and it is what it is. You get it? Anyway, thank you so much to our sponsors, Revolutionary Apparel, for kitting us up. I'm so excited with the stuff that's going on. And also for the guys that are looking to travel. They said January you can't travel. Who say that? There are professionals that are out there that can make sure that they can take you to the next destination. Wherever you want to go, just give them your passport. Head on down right now, www.fireflycorporate.co.za. They will do everything for you. Go onto that website and check it out. What are they about? They've been around for 20 years. They can also sort you out with gifts, corporate gifting. They can do that for you. Alternatively, email info@fireflycorporate.co.za, or the website is going to take you to a WhatsApp. You can speak to a person and tell them what you're feeling, how you're feeling, or what you're trying to achieve. They will do it for you. From our sponsors, thank you for believing in us. Thank you for actually making sure that this dream is actually sufficing and coming out to be something that is great. So we appreciate you. Let's go to our sponsors and support them. Support their social media handles. Support them, giving them business, because as they grow, we grow. As we grow, you grow. That's just how it is. So my friend,
How do you do that every single time?
give me my flowers, bruh. I deserve it, yeah? I'm good, right? The white man has said I'm
I
good
can't.
at something
I'm
for
speechless.
once.
You've left me speechless for the first time in so long, because
Was
you don't
that
write.
flawless?
It was flawless. You didn't stutter. You're not. There's nothing on your screen besides
I
the
was,
editing. There's
yeah.
nothing. No, he's phenomenal. Yeah. Again, just to touch on the sponsors, Revolution. We're looking really good, so thank you so much for dripping us out. We are really appreciative of that. And then to all the other people that sponsor us, again, a huge thank you. As Tat said, as we grow, you grow. As you grow, we grow. And the viewers, we hope that the videos start reaching you from all ends of the earth. That's the point of this. You know, our dream is to get this to reach every single continent and touch different people's lives and how they're feeling. And with your help and your inputs and your sponsors, that's how it's going to happen. So thank you to you guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm so humbled at the fact that for the past few weeks, actually from when we started in January, we have been hitting consistently a 1.2 viewer mark. That means you guys are doing something. That means you guys are actually acknowledging what we are doing. Yes, YouTube chops up our views and all that, but the fact is, in 24 hours, we are hitting a mark that we've never done ever since last year. So that is something to be thankful for everyone that is doing that. White man, okay, well, take it. There is actually a comment. Someone commented on one of the videos and said, "Hold on, that's my teacher." Did
No.
you see that? Did you? Yeah. Someone commented.
That's
I'm
cool.
like,
And you said small world.
yes, and I'm like, small world.
That's fantastic.
I don't know what subject does he teach. You understand?
That's so
they
cool.
haven't come back. So you can see that even your kids that you're teaching, they are coming through and seeing the stuff that you're doing, because we are not only doing this because we're bored, but we are also producing stuff that is enough to make us role models.
I think, yeah, and 100% on that is that this is the passion. This is the dream. You know, at the end of the day, yes, we love what we do. We love being on the sports field. We love being at the school. We love being at the club. And that's what helps us provide for our families. But what provides our heart with contentment and drives the passion to go further is us sitting here, you know, getting those views, getting those subscribers, and developing something that is completely bigger than both of us, a vision that is bigger than both of us, and getting to the point where, like you said, we become role models for others. Because at the end of the day, what do we want our kids, our children's children to have? You want them to have role models, someone to look up to, someone to aspire to, and something to aspire to, and something bigger than anything we could have planned. And this is where we believe we should be. We both believe that God has put us on this path, and we're going to walk down it. We walk by faith, not by sight, and we're going to carry on with it.
Preach, preacher, preach.
That's it.
Walk by faith and not by sight. So it's so thankful. It's so humbling when someone just bumps into a video and go, oh wait, that's Rudi. Oh wait, that's Sir. Because a lot of them, they call us Sir because obviously of the age difference and the authorities that we meet them, especially the younger ones. But it's so humbling that whatever that we're talking about, and a lot of stuff out there, they speak about nonsense. And for someone to have that 18 plus, we don't have an age restriction because whatever that we speak about on the channel, it resonates to a kid that is 5 years old as it does to someone that is 60 years old.
Yeah.
Because it's real life stuff, and I'm so grateful for the people that are coming through. So well done for the kids that are coming through and
That's
what
awesome.
you're doing in your life. Also to make sure that the next kid finds relevance in what you're saying, or they can simply take your advice because they know the kind of person that you are or the kind of father that you are. So that's really amazing. I posted on Facebook and I said every kid deserves to be protected.
Yep.
That means just like when we grow up, when you were seeing an adult, you were seeing your dad, you were seeing your mom, you were seeing a person that's going to protect you. And I love the fact that so many people were sharing that because that's exactly what we are doing. When you see a kid saying, oh God, that's Sir.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we're doing. We are protecting them. We may be coaching them, we may be teaching them, but the fact is we are also protecting them. And that's what you're doing. So amazing, man.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to all the viewers. Please continue, like, subscribe, help us develop more people to your friends, your family, anyone in need that just needs that motivation, needs that guidance, seeking direction. We're here for you. If you have any ideas on some areas or specifics of what you want us to talk about, please leave comments in this video of areas you think that could really help the person next to you, something that can help you, and we'll look into that. We'll set something up and maybe even invite you to the studio.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it.
Why not? Let's do it. Anyway, let's the first thing that before you get into the order of the things, you have to know how your mate is doing. And that's so important because we live in a life that is so busy that we forget to ask, how are you? And when someone asks you, how are you? And in the comment section, how are you doing? It just doesn't mean that you're just going to say, I'm fine, thank you, how are you doing? How are you? Ruth, how are you, bro? How's been your week? In the comment section, how are you? How's been your week?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. It was really crazy. On Monday, I had to go buy my first set of ballet clothes.
Oh, for Dakota.
Yes, so she's now doing many sports.
Wow.
Which is great. I'm very proud. She's doing
When
extra
does she
murals.
get the time,
So they come in her school time.
oh, at least. Oh,
Okay,
so
so
it's within, okay.
but if ever you need to do ballet, just note it's not cheap.
It's expensive.
Yeah, so I think it was just over R1,000 for
For that small
the
skirt
set
and the shoes.
and the slippers and then the stockings and the tutus and yeah. So, but it's so worth it.
But it's worth it, though.
Yeah, they look.
You wouldn't have it any
No,
other
they
way.
look. She looks super cute. So yeah, so that started on Monday after work. And I'll be honest, I actually had a day today that you had a few episodes ago where you were like looking for any excuse not to record
Wow.
because I was so tired. I was over it and whatever. And then it changed when I got home, knowing I had to come, put the new shirt on, and I was like, damn, we look good. Damn, we look good. So it changed, and then obviously when we spoke about it, and you know we started offline, we're just talking about where we're going and the big things coming and stuff in the pipeline. This has sort of kickstarted the second part of my week to be something really good. So I'm excited now.
Oh, man.
And you?
I think this week has been. Last week was a bit of a better week emotionally, mentally. This week, we've just been struggling with this constant headache. You know when someone says you are stressed, but you're suppressing it, but you don't want to talk about it because you don't want it to consume you.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I've been. So I've just been trying to keep my head above the water and, you know, just keep on. One more day. I remember I spoke to Ash when we did the interview with Ash, and he said when it comes to drinking alcohol or trying to survive the addiction,
Every
you're
hour.
just going one more minute without drinking.
Yep.
That's exactly where I am. One more day, just one more day of being sober, one more day of just being positive, and that's been working out so good.
And it's relevant.
Yeah.
That mentality is relevant in anything. You know, if you're running a comrade, it's one more step. It's one more step. One more step forward. If you're batting, one more run.
One more. Yes.
You know, it can just, that can be taken into so many different areas of your life. It's just having that mentality of one more.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I actually watched a video it came up on my TikTok reel, and it's a snippet from quite a popular movie where there's a coach and he's talking to Brock, and he's a American football player,
Okay.
and they're talking about how he needs to get across and believing in yourself and whatnot. And he says, "I'm going to put this other guy on your back, and you need to. I'm going to blindfold you, and you're going to carry him."
He's gonna tell you where to go.
And and you're just gonna carry on going. You're gonna keep crawling. And he keeps on telling him, you're gonna make it to the halfway mark. And this coach is in his ear because he can't see where he's going. He's just walking.
Hearing.
And the coach is going and he's going and he goes. Eventually he collapses after so much motivation. And the coach looks at him and he goes, "Coach, did I make it? Did I make it to halfway?" And the coach is like, "No, you're in the end zone. You've made it to the touchline." So I think that mentality of just one step forward, head down,
Just
push on, get over it, move on, get to it.
Yeah.
That push that you need, it works, it helps.
Wow. And it gets so overwhelming because you're thinking, I'm not doing anything. Because you're looking at the bigger picture and thinking, it's Monday, how am I going to get to Friday?
Yeah.
It's not about Friday.
No.
How am I going to get to Tuesday?
Yep.
Or the next hour, or the next moment, the next minute. If an hour is too long, make it one more minute.
Yeah, and
That's what I've been doing.
And accept that the blessing of being here for that one more hour, that one more day, because our time is limited.
Sure.
We don't know when it's the end.
Bruh.
Just
Bruh. There's power in that statement.
see the blessing
Yeah.
of being here for one more day with your family.
Sure.
You get to go home to your family tonight.
Right. Crazy. Anyway, a recap of last week. We spoke about setting goals and how did that part resonate to you in this week?
I'll be honest with you, it didn't necessarily resonate to me, but one of my friends spoke to me, and because it was so fresh in my mind talking about goal setting, I could see he needed some sort of guidance, and I don't think it was guidance. I think it was more reassurance and affirmation to say that the goals and things that he wanted to do was something he should go for, because he's the type of person, he's got great vision, but he needs that little push.
I think we all do.
So for me, it might not have been my goals, but there was a great movement forward. So it was a great step forward to push him in the direction of achieving something for him. So it's awesome.
So he came at the right time where you were still fresh and still
Correct.
vibey.
And he had watched the video, so I think he used that advantage of having someone who's just spoken about it, and maybe had been in the mindset of talking about goals and goal setting and pathways, and so it was good.
That's amazing. To me, it gave me a whole different perspective to my life and what I'm trying to achieve, because a lot of times I kind of feel like you know where you want to go, but you really don't have the confidence to say, can I?
Yeah.
Or am I able to?
Yeah.
So when you then say to me, even if you don't achieve, it's still okay. It's not the end of the world. And that to me it freed me up. Promise you, it's okay if I don't achieve. It's not the end of the world. I'm still alive.
Don't you think as well, looking at what we're doing, there's loads of passion. That's one thing we are not short of between the two of us, is passion and the want to make something.
Yeah.
But don't you feel after having that episode of goal setting, and we called it pathways and positive pathways and moving forward, I believe subconsciously we set goals for the channel, and there is now a vision forward, a clearer vision forward of going, that's what we're doing, that's where we're going, that's what we're doing, that's why we're doing it, this is what we need to do to attain that. And I think it gave us a lot more clarity of where we want to go.
No doubt. And I'm so happy that there is, when you see in the horizon that, this is what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Or even the discussions that we're starting to have now, they are more matured, they are more solid.
We need to grow bigger beards.
I can't grow a beard to save my life. Right?
To look, you wear glasses?
I do, yeah.
I wear glasses.
So we need to wear our glasses.
We're going to wear our glasses next week. Next video, we will be wearing our glasses.
Anyway, what are we speaking about tonight?
So, as I said offline, I mean, I thought about a topic that I think it's so relevant in every household, and that's dealing with confrontation. And it is slightly different, I think, for a man and for a woman, of how we deal with confrontation, because of the personalities and the personas within the household, and what is, seen as acceptable within a household, and what is seen as acceptable by society, of the behaviors of a man and behaviors of a woman. But I think to get rid of that is just to have an understanding of confrontation within a household, or within a relationship, or within friendships. And for me, is it really worth it? And seeing that vision is so hard, because we talk about eyes getting your eyes are red and you don't see it, and people, those big Joburg butts talk about saying they blacked out, and and I think it's being able to be real with yourself and go, is this fight worth it in the bigger scheme of my relationship, of this relationship, of where we're going, and is it going to make myself, the other person, any better of a person?
Because I am right does that make me better than them?
Because if you're in an argument, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. You're in the argument now, so it's hot. So
one of you must go down.
Which means the argument is half your fault anyway.
Because you're part of it.
You fought back.
50%. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if this person started it. If there was retaliation, it's 50-50. It's 50-50 your fault. And there's actually a musician I'm following at the moment in real country music. And he talks about, when he's in this argument, and, his wife is sitting crying on a pillow. And he goes, that pillow should be my shoulder. That pillow should be my shoulder.
So he's actually acknowledging that
it's half my fault.
The fact that she's using a pillow, that means I've already failed her.
You failed her. And, you need to, literally, he says in there, you need to walk in, throw your pride out, and man up.
I used to struggle, and I'm going to speak about myself. When it comes to confrontations, I used to struggle with, let's suppose my wife does something and it irritates me or offends me or whatever, I could not say it to her face. And I found out that it was actually irritating her as well, because I had to resort to something that was comfortable for me, which was texting. So I would text, this morning you did 1, 2, and 3, and I did not like it, Maybe I'm angry, right? And the thing is with the text is, when I say, how are you, Rudi? If the last time that we had interaction, we were fighting, you probably can feel that how are you as, how are you, Rudi?
How are you feeling now?
You understand?
Yeah.
And I felt that each time then what would happen is, she would feel that there is something that was wrong, or she sees that something was wrong, and reading the text message, she's reading the text message from an anger point of view. I am sending the text, maybe I'm angry sometimes, but I'm sending the message across from a point that I don't want that, or I do not like that. So what then happens is, when someone feels attacked, what do? They go into defensive mode.
Yep.
So even if they were wrong, but the fact that you sent me a text message, and she hated that, like, no, you can't drop me off at work, and as soon as I get to work, I find 3 pages of a letter. So we drove together for half an hour for you to drop me off at work, only to realize that there was something that was brewing in you. As opposed to her, when she is angry at something, she'll come in right there.
Yeah.
No, you did 1, 2, and 3, and I didn't like it. And I go, no. So it ends up being a fight maybe. But the fact is, she's already said how she was feeling. So confrontational was easier from her side to me. With me, my confrontation was in text. And she felt like that was offensive to her as well. So it's no longer about what made me angry. It's about the fact that I'm attacking her.
Yeah.
Now it's already a different fight altogether. And got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep quiet.
Yeah.
Keeping quiet again, things are just being thrown under the carpet.
You're brewing.
Because you're thinking, is it worth it? Like what you're saying, is it worth it for me to approach my wife and say, you did not do 1, 2, and 3, and I did not like it? You just, is it worth it? You throw it under the carpet. So, in as much as, yes, you can say, is it worth it? But I also think that anything that you sweep under the carpet is going to grow. at some point.
It'll fester, yeah.
It will come back up. So I think as people in relationships, in as much as, yes, you can weigh down, obviously I'm not going to talk about the fact that maybe you squeezed the toothpaste from the top. Just fix it. Some things, I guess, is it worth it to speak about it, or let me just fix it? How do you differentiate the two?
So, 3 things, okay? So 1, to touch on your thing about sweeping under the carpet, I've got a completely different perspective on it, okay? For me, if you have the mentality in the relationship that you are, whether it's a friendship, whether it is a relationship with your wife, whether it's a relationship with your parents, if you have the mentality of you are going to just drop it, and meaning we have forgiven each other for this and seen that this is not a severe thing, there is a miscommunication, whatever. That's not sweeping under the carpet. So if you've got the mentality it's sweeping under the carpet and that you're just going to go, I haven't got the results I've wanted from this, and you've put it there, that's sweeping it under the carpet. And I think that leaves festering to happen. But I think if you have the mindset of saying that it's not sweeping it under the carpet, it's realizing that our relationship is worth more than an argument over something silly. The end result is, if it's with your wife, you're still going to go to bed together tonight, you're going to wake up together in the morning, you have the same bills the next day, you have a child together, you do love each other. It's not worth that. So you're not sweeping it under the carpet. You are saying, it doesn't matter that it happened. It's happened. Okay?
But it's not worth it.
Subconsciously, I'm sorry for what I did. I know you're sorry for what you did. So let's leave it. So I think that's the first thing. Second thing, when dealing with confrontation, you said, you were a texter. And I think I'm the same to a point, because I hate confrontation.
I hate it.
Because I know from years back when I was younger, I've got a bit of a nasty temper and I've got quite a sharp tongue. So for me to engage, I'm gonna get angry and I'm gonna say things I do not mean.
To say, yes.
I don't mean it, because I know when I'm angry, I say things not to win the argument.
But
I say things to hurt you. And and it's
tomorrow,
horrible.
Those words are still gonna be lingering.
Because yes, we'll kiss, we'll make up, and the fight's over. But you're gonna still be thinking, those words still came out of my husband's mouth.
Did he say that?
Does he think that little of me? And they, the other person is gonna be like, is that really what he thinks of me? Whether it genuinely is not, you're saying it to hurt them.
Especially something that's negative, it sticks.
Yeah.
So we can be smiling, but in the back,
that's silly saying we heard when we were kids. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will always harm me. They will always harm me, because you can be as brave as you want on the front,
but words
inside, we're all marshmallows.
Yeah, we're all marshmallows.
And then the last thing is, when you have confrontation, I think the first person that realizes that you're in a state of disagreement, there is a person that is upset, and I think I'd like to think that my wife and I are on that page now, because we have had some nasty fights. We've had some horrible fights, ones I never want to relive. I have put it in the past, because it's not the person I wanted to be. It's not the person I wanted her to be. It's not the parents we wanted to be for Dakota. And we got to the point where we have realized the silly things are not worth that fight. And that comes with the relationship, the strength of the relationship. Because I'm sure, as soon as you get married, for me, the first thing that changed was the silly arguments drop. Because it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
You've got a child, you're still married.
Because even if I'm angry at you, fact is we're still going to share this.
Yeah, you can't go, oh, well, then are you going to break up with me?
Exactly. Or you're going to delete my photos.
I mean, I remember...
You're going to block me on Facebook and WhatsApp.
And Kaylee will hate me for this, but I remember when we were dating, we weren't engaged yet. I used to say this thing, I'm so over it. And because Kaylee likes to pick at words, she'd be like, "What are you over? Are you over me?" And she would pick at that word, and you're like, "No, I'm not over you. I'm over the situation." So I think it's...
You are right, though. I once had an argument with my wife, and I said, you know what? I'm so done with this. I'm so done with the fact that everything ends up being a fight.
Yeah.
Because maybe, just maybe, let's take for example, I wanted to say, you left the tot on the table. Just an example, it's petty. You left the tot on the table, couldn't you take it to the kitchen, right? Maybe she had it because my tone of voice was disrespectful. And to her, it's like, hey, I'm your slave.
Yeah.
You're my slave. I said, take that and put it in the kitchen. Understand? And when I said it, maybe I was not even in that frame of mind.
Yeah.
Maybe it was there, but I was trying to suppress it. Then you then get to a point whereby you're like, is it really worth it to then mention it? Then it makes me keep quiet. So I see things and I just let them slip. Maybe she sees things and lets them slip because she knows that the moment we start fighting, it's going to get nasty. And the moment words are going to be thrown, maybe it's going to end up violent.
Yeah.
Is it really worth it? But still comes back to, if you then get to a point where you're saying, is it worth our relationship? Are you fixing things? Because there's a difference, like you said, between sweeping in the carpet is, I can smack you and you keep quiet. That's not resolving.
No.
You swept that under the carpet.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I can punch you and you say, Tatts, you punched me, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
No, we're done. We're good. That's where I then realized that's where my wife was. My wife can tell you something that you offended her, and as soon as that happens, she's done. I'm still processing that, and I'm thinking, oh crap, I offended her one. I made her angry. That means it's sour now. Because the one thing that I hate at this point in time is anything that is a potential of making us go for an hour, 2 hours, or a day, whatever, not speaking.
Yeah.
Or anything that is a potential in us or having a fight that erupts. So you're thinking, no. When she's grumpy, I'll end up, okay, I'm going to put myself in a wall. Because whatever that she's going to say, if I keep on pestering, then it's going to make me angry as well. Then I'm going to retaliate. I don't want to retaliate, so I would rather give her that distance. But that was not right. Because she's not feeling like I love her. She's not feeling like I am, I am giving her attention.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm feeling like, okay, let me give her space.
You have no compassion
exactly,
for her feelings.
No compassion. So it becomes a fine line. Do I then go to my partner when they are grumpy? Or do I then tell them that they did 1, 2, and 3 that did not make me happy? Or I then realize that wait until there's a happy situation to speak about it. So let's go for coffee or let's go for ice cream. And when you're sitting in KFC, ice cream is 5 rand the last time I checked. We're eating ice cream and like, love, on Monday, what happened there? You were not okay. Outside the environment. And I found that working. It's something that someone can use as a solution, because the moment you are in the same space as you live in your house, everything brews and erupts in there.
There's no right or wrong way. I think of dealing with confrontation in different relationships. It's different personalities, two different people that have gone through 2 different things. They're having 2 different days. Their stress levels are at different places. Their level of tiredness is in 2 different places. Yeah. But I think, and it's quite cool, because Kaylee and I have done it a few times, is where the fights are going to happen. You can't confrontation, arguments, whatever you want to call them, it's going to happen. You're going to get through it and know that there's going to be an end. Because that for me, that's also a scary thing. I feel sometimes I'll be in an argument and I feel this is never going to end. We're going in circles, it's never going to end. But the reality of it is, after it's said and gone, and for me, this is a good way of healing and not going back to it or avoiding future arguments, is looking at the starting point. What was the fuse? 99% of the time, it's funny because one of the biggest fights Kaylee and I had, and we speak about it so many times and laugh about it now, was the price of a bread roll and me buying too many bread rolls as it was a waste of money. We are talking about like 7 rand. And when I say it blew into the biggest fight in the world over a bread roll.
But was it about that though, or there was something
I think,
behind?
and that's what I wanted to get onto now is, yes, there might have been something that for her was a loophole to get into a conversation or about it, and possibly it was a conversation about finances, which I think is 99.9999% of what relationship arguments happen. But we look back on it and going, we could have just had a conversation about money.
Could have just talking about
But we had to argue about that bread roll, and it led to 5
Something,
million,
yes,
5 million other things. So yeah, I think you've got to have that. You can call it maturity, you can call it whatever, you can call it experience. I think
it comes with time and understanding your partner as well.
and not only that, I think it's an experience as people, and especially if you're the type of person that is a socialite. You've got so many different types of relationships. You've got good friendships. You call them your brothers. You've got a good, another guy who you are, maybe he is your brother, but you've got a strong friendship with him. Maybe your father is like your best friend, and then you've got a relationship, but she's your best friend and your wife, which is what I think every partner should be. So it depends on the relationship and the dynamics.
But you also realize that when you're a socialite, you never marry a socialite. Usually, a socialite marries the introvert.
100%.
And now your socialite skills tend to feel like it's a bit too much. Like, do you have to greet everyone that you meet? Not that it's a bad thing, but do you have to be friends with everyone?
Yes.
Do you have to speak to everyone? We go to a cricket match and now you're engaging in conversation. Do you know that person? No, I don't. Do you have to? You understand? So it becomes a little bit of understanding who the person is. Obviously, if they're an introvert, understand what goes through their mind when they're quiet. If they're a socialite, they don't want to be quiet.
Yeah.
They want to be out there and bubbly as well.
The scary thing, though, that I have noticed with different people and friends and relationships, the introverts have the most to say in an argument because they've kept it in.
Yes.
And they know when they want, when it's now, they're like, now it's time.
Yeah.
Because
Now
it's
when
just
I
with
know
one other
you,
person,
now
and
I'm
they
going
can
for it.
remember. And myself, being a socialite, I'll get to the fight. I'll be like,
Really?
you too, you
I
mean
spoke
as well.
about that already.
And I'm like, I don't know what to say because, and my wife will tell me what did you say 3 sentences ago. And because I speak so much nonsense, I know it was along the lines of this. She goes, no, but what did you say?
Yeah.
Word for word. And I'm like, I can't.
I don't remember.
So then I'll be like, it was no, not along the lines, Rudi. So that I catch myself out of that all the time. So yeah, you've got to have that mentality and understanding of the other person. And I think, like you said, as your relationship grows and as you start living with each other and you start growing with each other, you start to understand how that person's mind works. What are their peeves? What are their triggers? Because at the end of the day, you want to avoid triggers.
That's the thing.
And
you don't know the triggers at some point.
And that's the learning phase and understanding that fights are going to happen.
Yeah.
I've heard mates before, they've like, we've been together for a year and we've never fought. And I'm like, man,
That's 12
wait,
months, right?
wait. Because
Live under the same roof.
I remember with Kels and I, we were blessed with many arguments in the early days, and the thing, it only made us stronger. The trust that we have for each other now, the growth that we've gone through together. She knows my triggers, I know hers, and we avoid them at all costs because it's not worth it.
Yeah. I think human beings in general, we just need to be more kinder.
Just consider it.
Yes, let's be more kinder to one another, and it comes back to patience as well. And my wife taught me a valid lesson, and I never told you about this. On Sunday, we drop off our son for his game, warm-ups and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the game is going to start in the next hour. So let's just quickly go to the McDonald's. We get to the McDonald's, you get to a drive-through, and it's so disappointing for McDonald's, to say the least. You get to the drive-through and there's nothing, and you're thinking, okay, I'm thinking it's not working. Just as I'm about to drive off, hello, welcome to McDonald's. Oh, okay, reverse back. Hello, hi, can I order? Okay, is that all done? Next window. We get to the next window, guess what? She's looking at her computer. She finishes, doesn't acknowledge me.
Yeah.
No greeting whatsoever. looks into her computer. From there, she starts speaking to the people in the kitchen. Literally, whatever they're talking about. And we're just there in the car. Right? Nothing, no word. She finishes whatever that they've been talking. And it's not serious, by mind you. It has nothing to do with work. They are busy talking about whatever that they were talking about. Then from there, I'm like, are they going to serve us anytime soon? My wife is like, no, babes, you don't have to RSVP before every fight.
No.
Calm down. Then, good morning, how are you? Oh, we're good, thank you. How are you doing? Finally. Inside, I'm like, oh, finally.
Yeah.
Then we take the order, we move on to the next window, and my wife is like, the thing is, when you go to a restaurant or a place of food, you don't want to be an ass.
Yeah.
Because they're going to give you a special order.
Yeah.
Then you're going to be like, oh, that's a lekker burger. I don't know what they put in there. You know, understand? But what I'm just trying to get at is, we as human beings, we just need to be a lot kinder and a lot patient with ourselves. My wife said on that day, is like, that girl was looking for a fight.
Yeah.
She was looking for it and we did not give her one. Maybe we can do the same thing in relationships. Your partner can be used, but say not. It's not worth it.
But you see there, immediately, and I just spoke about it now. I said, she knows your triggers. Immediately, she said to you, don't do it. Okay? That stopped you in your tracks going, okay, I'm listening to my person. She knows my trigger. She's identified it. She's seen that someone is trying to push that trigger. Said, it's not worth it, Tatts.
Don't.
Okay? You drove out there. You got your food. By the time you had actually gotten to your son's cricket game, you'd forgotten about it.
Yeah.
It was done.
Yeah.
Okay? Had you not,
I was gonna
had you driven away, you would have then found the next fast food place.
You're angry.
Listen, you would have gone to the next fast food place. Let's say KFC. Gone there. Now you're rushing. You're getting there. Now you're rushing. You eating quickly because you want to get there. You're making your son late. He's now upset. He's upset with you because you've made him late.
Yeah.
You then get upset with yourself, and now your day is ruined because of a trigger you in theory allowed to be pulled.
And that was 5 minutes. In theory, it was not the whole day.
No.
So yes, she spoke about whatever and talking and catching up with her colleagues and whatnot, but it did not take 5 minutes. And you still have to wait.
Yeah.
You get to the parking lot and say, please wait by the parking lot, we're gonna bring you your chips and whatnot. And you're like, okay, we wait. You switch off the engine and they're not coming. But in theory, 5 minutes or 10 minutes would have ruined the whole day, like you said.
Correct.
And now you end up, maybe my wife is gonna say something and I'm already irritated. I'm like, what, man?
Yeah.
Now she's angry as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm irritated by that, I'm spilling it over on that. My son is angry at me as well.
And he goes and has a horrible game.
And you see, Dad, you made me late.
Yeah. So I think in that little situation, it's just seeing that I honestly believe, I think that majority of fights, I'm not saying all, because I know financial fights is a real thing, and it's a real thing around the world. I've seen the stats that they talk about. I think it's over 98% of domestic arguments are based around finances. So I can understand that, and that it is a tough conversation to have because you start bumping into you bump into things like pride, you bump into things of fear, you bump into things of unsurety, you bump into things of I'd say it could be inequality. You bump into things of going, am I not worth it? Am I not man enough? Or as I'm supposed to be providers. So I can understand financial fights.
There's so much insecurities with it. Yeah.
Maybe a more constructive manner of dealing with it is sitting together and saying, my love, I think we've got a problem. Yeah. Can we sit together and maybe work out a plan together? That is possibly a way of trying to avoid that breakdown and huge fight that it can lead to. But the other 2%, I do believe that a strong percentage of that is really about maybe someone was having a bad day, or someone wasn't in the greatest space at that specific time, in that exact moment, and the trigger that might be the hardest trigger to pull normally, because of where you were in that exact moment, it became a feather trigger and was just pulled. Yeah. And it's not worth it. And it's not having that mentality of not brushing it under the rug, but going, is it worth, not the argument, is it worth me the one part of that where argument has to happen,
Yeah.
getting upset to the point where I'm upsetting someone else and having an argument about it.
You know, when we speak about that, and not everything is worth the fight. And I just want to give credit to my wife on that, because there was something that could have made us angry at one another. Last week or the week before, we were supposed to go for an SA20 game. JSK is playing MI, I think. The
Probably wasn't a good game anyway.
It wasn't, because that's the one that Rassi and Rickerton got a 200 partnership,
No.
I think.
Well, that would have been nice to watch.
No, but bro, that was depressing. That was good for Rickerton.
I was in, yeah.
But anyway, and I left home in the morning, and I said, love, I'm going to come back and fetch you. Please be ready. Those were my words. Then I had to fetch Tabani and his wife, because we'd gotten them tickets as well. So from the club, I'm going to fetch Tabani and Michelle. From there, we come and fetch you. I'm just going to come refresh quickly. You will be done
And
with
we're
that.
gonna kick it, yeah.
Right, then we hit the game.
Yeah.
On my way, Tabani is already angry, because when I got there to fetch him, the wife was still in the house and up and down and whatnot. And he comes like, I can't deal with this shit, honestly speaking. She's been in there forever, and I don't know what she's doing. We're done. We showered together, we did everything together, and I'm like, you know what? I can bet you my last cent. When I get home, Pumza is not going to be ready. So we start, we're talking and whatnot. Michelle finally gets out, then we get here. As I park the car, get in, guess what? She jumps, you're sitting on TV. She jumps, rushes to the bedroom. No, but I've showered already. It's like, no, bull, man. Honestly speaking, I was irritated to the core. Promise you, to the core. She still needs to do her hair. She still needs to do her makeup. She still needs to find clothes to wear and everything. No. Right? And I'm thinking, I was fuming. But that anger went nowhere, because she kept on, I'm sorry, man, love. I'm sorry. The previous day, you know what she would have done? She would have said, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, you go.
Yes. Then I would leave.
Go and enjoy
Yes,
yourself.
And I would go. I promise I would. I would go.
I never had the bravery to do that.
I had. She knows.
No,
Literally, sometimes she'll be like, you know what? It's like you don't care. When I say I'm leaving, you can say, sure, go. You say, no, stay, you're not going anywhere. Okay, sure. Literally.
Have you become wiser?
I have become wiser.
There we
She
go.
has become wiser, because she has learned to tame me.
Yeah.
And the whole way, I was screaming. And like, no, man, now we are late. Because I finished everything, and she's still doing her makeup. Then the outfit that she wanted to wear, she realized that, nah, it's not the best. Now she has to find something else to wear. I'm thinking, the game is starting at 1:30. No, but you didn't tell me what time the game is. I didn't have to tell you. I told you
A time
when
to
I
be ready.
left.
Yeah, a time to be ready.
Be ready. I never said the game is starting. No, like I said, the game is starting at 3. That's not the point.
Yeah.
Point is, I said. And I love the fact that the whole way, she never retaliated with the same anger that I was giving. And that to me is, wow, this woman has mastered the art of making sure that we don't have to fight. And that's something that I have to master as well, because a lot of times what we then made our fight was you going through that, you're like, I'll get away, man. Whatever.
I think also, like, you know, just hearing about the situation, you also, from an outsider's perspective, you were upset because of your mate and your mate's wife. That. So now you had their frustration on you. You were like, if it's the same as me, I'm going to be even more
Like
angry.
I'm gonna be.
So you were already.
Well, there was already high.
You were already on a level, and then you came home. It was a similar situation, but for all you know, she could have got lost in a series. It happens to all of us.
It happens.
Okay, lost in a series, and she genuinely felt terrible for
Yes.
making you late. And
That's
in
what I
essence,
mean.
I mean, I look at it and I go, it can happen to me.
Yes.
I could get lost playing some Call of
Yes.
Duty
Yeah.
or whatever and lose track of time. And I'd be genuinely sorry and take every blow that you're giving, because I'm genuinely sorry that happened.
Like
Because
you
it's
should
the last
understand
thing I
what
wanted to do is make you upset before something that you're going to, which is the
Yeah.
cricket which you love.
Yeah.
So, there is a lot in that, and you can only do that as an outsider. In the
Yeah.
situation, you don't see, like you said, we see red. But now you look back on it, and now you're going, Was it worth it?
We could have spent the whole weekend or that whole game angry at one another.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow. And the same thing happens. Have you ever noticed that you say you're trying to go to a place and we've got an appointment probably at 10 o'clock or whatever, and you wake up in the morning, you dress up, you finish everything, you sit down. At the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, I still need to put on cologne or deodorant, whatever. And you're sitting there, you're scrolling, you go onto Instagram or Twitter, whatever. When she's done, you're like, oh crap, I need to put on cologne. And she'd get angry. Like, this is stupid, man. I'm not stupid. But this is nonsense. You've been sitting for the past hour.
Yeah.
And just when I say let's go, you need to go back inside to sort something out. And she's learnt the art of patience. You know what she does? When she's done, she just gets out, takes the car keys, and waits in the car.
It's awesome.
And she doesn't have to say, because those words were like, no man, you're treating me like a child. Because I would get out now, I'm angry, because we're supposed to go to church, and you're telling me, no man, get out, we're gonna be late. You don't have to, I know.
No.
You understand? I know I've lost track of time. I know already, I'm already feeling bad because I kept on scrolling. And phones, games, and whatnot, they've got an element of one more. Before you know it, oh crap, I didn't fix breakfast. I didn't sort this, I didn't sort that. But then she just takes the car key, gets out. I'm already under pressure.
And you actually taking the frustration out on the other person for you forgetting
or
for your...
you were late. And to think of it, by the time she walks to the car, I'm already behind her. So the fight was going to be over 20 seconds. And it's going to screw up the whole entire trip, maybe an hour trip, 2 hour trip, whatever the case may be. So it comes back again to when you're confronting, be patient and be kind with the person that you're talking to.
And just have a little bit of understanding and I think maybe have a little bit of foresight to go, you're looking for, you know, what are you going into? You know, what is to come from this? I mean, if you've got something big happening, you know, you and I have an argument and there's big plans for something else happening. I've still got to see you on Saturday to record. I've still got to see you next week, Wednesday to record. You know, we still have videos or you and your wife have an argument, you know, or if, you know, whatever it is, a colleague at work, you have an argument today and about something silly and you still have to become a team tomorrow and get the job done together. So having it going, I've still got to have a decent relationship with you. And I'm not saying, you know, don't get upset because that it's impossible. You can't not get upset. You're a human being. You're allowed to get upset. I'm saying is have that little bit of care factor to go, okay, I'm going to get into a confrontation with this person because I've got things I need to say. And that's fine. Yeah. Pick the words. Try and control the tone and try to be a little bit of understanding of how the words that you say, the way that you say it, when you say it, goes across to the other person, how it could affect the other person. And I know from my past arguments and fights with different people, is I try to talk, when we honor, I try to talk over them. I'll be like, okay, I'm hearing you, but if I talk louder and seem more dominant, I'm going to sound more important. I'm winning the argument. And a lot of the time...
And it's not about winning, though. I think that's where the
yeah, there's no winning here. You're trying to find a happy medium of going, is this worth it?
Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Really, this has been amazing.
It's been good.
If you're in the comment section, let us know how do you deal with confrontation or how do you deal with conflict? Because we all want to learn. And you can see that from how we are speaking, we're trying to give our own scenarios. Not because we are professionals, but because we are human beings just like you. And probably, just probably, you have got more experience than we do. Maybe in marriage, maybe in life, maybe in your workplace. But how still do you deal with conflict? Because we cannot run away from conflict. That's one thing for sure.
It's inevitable.
So if we then face it head on, how do we deal with that?
Agreed.
Yeah, really, it's been amazing.
Guys, thank you. Subscribers, keep subscribing. Get your friends to subscribe. Keep liking. We love you. And stay out of fights.
I think the other thing, the reason why they are failing to subscribe is because you need to have, what do you call this? You need to create an account on YouTube.
Or Google account.
Google account.
Yes.
So you have your Gmail and the Google account. That's the only way you can like. Because yes, you are viewing. Yes, you are enjoying. But you can't do what everyone else can do. You can't subscribe. So you have a Google account and it's going to say Rudi Perry. Under Rudi Perry is when you're going to search for the podcast. And when you then do that, you can comment, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. I think sharing is easier. Anyone can do that. But then the liking part and the commenting and the subscribing part, you have to have a Google account. So go ahead and create a Google account. And the more Google accounts are created, YouTube is growing.
Yeah.
Google is growing. And that's how we then are going to grow.
And we know a lot of the subscribers, you guys are some of you are huge influencers around different people. So please use that, share it on all your different forms of social media. The more traffic we get, hopefully that gives you traffic to your channels and the way you subscribe in your social media status. So please use all your avenues to help us to get those subscriber numbers up, to get more views, and inevitably grow the channel.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Thank you so much, and have a lekker weekend. We say lekker in South Africa. That means have a good weekend. God bless you, and see you on the other side.
Cheers.
Writing the podcast Being Man, as I learn to be a man. Understanding the time, lessons and patience inquired to be a 10. A series of compass insights of the journey for a different turn. Being man, where rivers of the mind flow to give a damn. A movement with river flows, so I be a bailer I can. All stones are turned, all souls affirmed. Right at the podcast Being Man. All stones are turned, all souls affirmed. Welcome to Being Man.